So, first Cuz was telling me about this story a little bit. I think he told it to me kind of backwards. And then Medkit was telling me about this story, and it seemed she was kind of filled in a little bit. But Medkit tells the story from a perspective. So most people will tell a story from a perspective. So they might not even really be being biased, but they're gonna be telling it from a perspective. So you getting like, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then the other stuff that's attached to it. And whenever any of these stories pop up, the perspectives come. Whenever it involves a white person and a black person, it's like, well, let's get to it.
Anthony was being held on $1 million bond, which was crazy. Today they reduced it to $250,000, which is, still sizable, but he wound up getting out. All right, so Mark, first of all, the idea of race, I mean, you lived it with Zimmerman in a big way. There's so many people who believe that that's why Zimmerman wound up beating that case. But what do you see here? What are your questions? What will matter?
Oh, no, it's definitely a consideration. It always is, whether it's a sort of obvious what we're doing or the implicit one, because we all carry these implicit biases with us that perceive or impact how we perceive an event.
You heard he say, we all carry certain biases. That is true. I don't think I'm better than people, right? But there are people, I think the word better, and maybe even to certain groups, maybe the people who are in poverty, white, black, whatever, the word better just don't ring off correct. So, but it's like, there are baseball players that know other baseball players are better than them and can, like, yeah, some better. Basketball players, football players, actors. But when you get to a certain level, or down to a certain level, people don't like the better stuff. I think I'm better at recognizing my bias than the average person. So a lot of times I'm coming into the situation recognizing my bias. And then my ears is open. Most people can't do that. So I always encourage people like, think for yourself in every situation. Take in no narrative. Just go with your own, because we all human. Human things gonna happen. If you old enough, you've encountered enough humans, you've seen enough scenarios.
Now, what's really it's going to come down to, and I disagree with the guy who said this is not a self-defense case. Yes, I think he said it. This is definitely a self-defense case, because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor. Was it an aggressive act for him to go up and say, get away from the tent? Did he do more than that? My understanding was maybe he touched him and put hands on him. Granted, that makes the decedent in this case maybe the initial aggressor. But you really still then have to look at whether or not Karmelo Anthony responded with appropriate force, he used a deadly weapon, and whether or not he was in imminent fear of great bodily injury. That's the standard in Texas and most every state, to determine whether or not his actions, the way he perceived him, the way Karmelo Anthony perceived him when he took out that knife and stabbed him.
I call something like that a nuance. What I mean is that, so remember I was like, we all got like our biases, right? Now, if they immediately turn on them and you don't turn them off, you won't even hear certain information. You'll just hear, or your mind won't take you certain places. So my mind, like, there's one thing I always tell people, especially when referring to my life, because I got certain experiences. So I say things, I'll be like, yo, you can lose control of yourself for 60 seconds and it could cost you your life. You can die, You can go to prison. Things can go incredibly ugly for you when you're not thinking and you're not on point. Now, most kids is not thinking and on point, right? Male brain ain't mature until 25. That frontal lobe cord, the one that regulates the like decision making and empathy, all type of stuff, right? Something like that. So we get to youth. And we know how the youth could be. So when you hear about people going crazy online and taking certain narratives, all the black people out here taking certain narrative, I'm just going to hear, oh, because he white, y'all don't want to recognize that he's a kid. All the white people taking certain narratives, I'm going to be like, oh, he black, so you can't see him as a kid. If I could say that to you, and you can't realize that's like one of your bias or stereotype, you just can't realize it. Yes, you could just be standing on some shit because you feel like you can. Ain't no immediate danger. Well, you ain't going to kill me or hurt me if I just have this opinion, so I'm going to just keep saying it. So that, I mean, some people could look at that as being evil, or you might be stupid. Or you done transition from the bias. Now you racist because you don't care. It's just the skin color. And that could go both ways. I'm not a proponent of you can't be racist unless you got power. Because I've been on earth long enough to know that you could take a low human and put him in a high position and he'll shit on everybody. Or she'll shit on everybody that's under her at the same way that people shitted on him when he was low. Because your character might not change. So, okay, you ain't got no power, but this your energy and this how you feel. The moment you get the power, that's how you gonna act. You know how hard it is to just change and become a different person?
The good part is if the decedent was the aggressor initially. The bad part for Karmelo, if in fact it's true that he sort of said, touch me and you'll see, because that's that aggression, that's that predisposition towards violence that doesn't have a place in a true self-defense case.
Bang. So, now I don't know if any of that happened, but he's saying that this is what was said between everybody, right? Now, but wait a minute. Say I wasn't covering this thing that really like just, I say it hurts me. Because and I'm past the point of it being a black thing. I be wanting the humans to be better to each other. Like, let's set a trend. Let's start some new shit. People all over the world, join hands. Let's start a love train. Now, when I was talking about nuance, right? Sometimes somebody can get you angry, right? With words. Before it get to black and white, we all are aware that, hey, yo, you ain't supposed to react over certain words, right? You hear the guy say, homie said, hey, yo, touch me and I'm going to do this to you. How many times have you heard that? Like, say you growing up, right? How many times you hear somebody say, touch me and I'm going to do this to you? So you might say in your mind, okay, that's familiar. That's something that's common that could have happened. When you get two kids, if two kids start challenging each other, what normally happens? Two immature people. I believe, yeah, we might be able to chalk this up as a racial thing at the end of the day. But can we really chalk this up as a racial thing if neither one of these young men know who the fuck they is yet in life? Just the young, stupid you. Survive. So you can get a chance to grow and get to being a real you who might make different decisions.
What's the most important question for you in this, Mark? And then I want the same from you, Professor, if you have one. Go ahead, Mark.
Sure. Who truly was the initial aggressor? How did this unfold such that if in fact he had a reason to believe great bodily injury was imminent, was it reasonable? Was he pushed? Was he shoved? Was he hit? Because don't forget, it's of the moment, but you are allowed to respond to great deadly force with your own great deadly force, or at least your perception of great deadly force.
I agree with that.
It's really going to be fact-based. I do think that race, it's going to be played out on social media. It also is going to be played out in a courtroom if you ever get there, because in today's day and age, I would argue that someone like Karmelo Anthony now has a heightened concern over the past few years and the way we've sort of degraded some of the progress we thought we made over the past decade.
Yo.
As far as how we're treating.
And that's a deep thing. So I've never had a conversation with anybody from my community that ever even said anything like that. And that shit hurts me. It drives me crazy. Like right now, we could go back and forth on this topic as long as I've been talking it, and I ain't insulted nobody. I haven't insulted white people. I haven't insulted black people. But if I was around black people right now, they would be insulted because I didn't insult white people. And I don't know enough to, like, just because somebody white kills somebody, I don't know enough to take any, I'm going to go to the human point. Okay, humans will do this, humans will do that, humans will do this, humans will do that. Because it bothers me when, it's like, and then it's all pump faking and fronting. That's a whole nother aspect of it that we can't even get to. I feel like we need to put together a list of black people that's allowed to be mad at racist stuff. I don't even think all black people should have the right to be upset with things they think is racist. You upset with, you like, oh, this white guy killed the black man. You saying that as a black man, and you will kill another black man over less.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong
over
with you?
Nothing.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Or you will know one black man unalived another black man in cold blood and say free him. And then I got to deal with you being angry as hell at an incident where somebody white killed somebody black. When we see it on social media as it pop up, and it don't nearly pop up as much as, I mean, let's be honest here. Who did more damage? Who did more damage in the last year? Extreme right-wing white supremacists or the hip-hop community?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Who got more bodies right now?
What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
You see that if you in the chat, if you, like, just answer me correctly. That's it. If you got to Google, you got to go by the numbers, go ahead, do it. But you can guess at it. Who did more damage this year to the black community? Donald Trump, hip-hop. So I don't want to talk to black people. I don't want to talk to niggas about how bad Trump is. I'll be like, yo, most of the mothers from my neighborhood got serious issues with their kids. Ain't take care of them, neglected them, did all type of wild shit. Soon as a motherfucker get to talking to his mother, she talking about Trump. Hold on. You might have let all type of men come through here abuse, take advantage, disrespect your kids. Got your kids out here gang banging. Your son done shot up a party, you on social media talk about free him. Who y'all think did more damage to the black community? The gangs? On the dead homies? On Pyru, on 60, or the right-wing dudes talking shit? So we need a list. Hey, let's get the list. Nigga, you can't even be mad at nothing that you think is racist till you get your shit in order. How I'm gonna be running around furious and wild and going crazy about this, and I'm at home treating my family like shit. I'm treating my girl bad. Neglecting my kids. Hurting the very people that I'm claiming I'm protecting or defending. Nah, my nigga. I'm good. And I just happen to be somebody who can stand on it.